Good fucking morning, everyone, and welcome to another program review. This time we'll be going over a mesh of two programs, which is a mesh of Alexander Bromley's 70s Powerlifter, which is available in the ebook form, and also he has a YouTube video about it, and a mesh of Jim Wendler's 531. This will serve me for the next 9 weeks of training. And I wanted to share a very simple and I think a make sense way how to blend both approaches. And it's also this will serve as a continuation of my previous 531 template, which was basically a hypertrophy based one, and we have also covered it on this channel in the previous video. So let's go right into it. Well, the 531 templates will serve as the main mover for the day, and of course the week is split into 4 training days: upper lower, bench, squat, overhead press, and deadlift. For the 531 work, you just follow your basic 531 principles. So in short, 531 is a 3-week structure. First week you do 5s, second week you do 3s, and then the third week you do 531. The last set is always as many reps as possible. You do this twice, so 6 weeks. Then the 7th week is a deload. You increase your training maxes every 7 weeks, therefore, and your training max should be 90% of your true 1 rep max. So basically this is a very short description of how 531 works. You can find more about it in endless articles and stuff on the internet. But the 531 program is not all there is. This is just the first, the small work of the workout, which will take you about 20 minutes to continue to finish, from start to finish, from warm up to the last set. And then for the rest of the workouts, you need to supply your own training. Jim Wendler suggests some of his own variants, but there are also, of course, infinite others possibilities how to. For example, one of the most famous Jim Wendler variants is just the boring but big BBB. It's just 5 times 10 on a secondary movement or same movement followed your main lift. And actually, 70s Powerlifter from Alexander Bromley, it's not that different. You start with 10s. And then you go, you see here, you start with 10s, and it also operates on 3-week waves and 3 waves, and it builds up to 5 times 10. But for this mesh of the two programs, what we are actually doing here, we are replacing this main movement progression from the 70s Powerlifter with a 531 template. This means that this program is actually easier program than original 70s Powerlifter, because 531 happens to be less work and way more sustainable on the long run. That's why I decided to run it like this. But then after that one followed everything else is original 70s Powerlifter program. So for the secondary movements, those are 2 secondary movements, and for the bodybuilding progression, those are 3 exercises for the bodybuilding part. We will follow as original 70s Powerlifter program suggests. So this is how it works. The 70s Powerlifter works, like I said, 3 weeks in 3 waves. For the variation, exercises and progression, you start with 2 sets, 10 reps, then you move to 3 sets, 10 reps, then you move to 4 sets, 10 reps. And then on the second and the third wave, the set progression stays the same, but the reps change and they decrease. So, and for the bodybuilding progression, it's very similar. Sets increase and reps decrease over the cycle of the program. So how did the workouts look? I took the structure mostly from the book, but I changed just a little bit. So if you compare the book with this small table here, you will see some differences, and I will explain them now. So let's just take the first day as an example. So we start with the as prescribed bench movement on the 5-3-1 template. So depending on which week you are, you will do either 5s, either 3s, or either 5-3-1. Last set as many reps as possible on your bench with the percentages as prescribed by your 5-3-1 template. Then you will move on to the secondary part, which is a bench variation. But we are not doing variation here. We are doing the same bench exercise. So in my case, just competition bench. And we will do it as prescribed on this table here. So depending where you are, you will do as many sets and as many reps as prescribed here. And the RPE is also prescribed 6 to 7, not harder, because it will be impossible to finish if you do it more than as prescribed here. And then we move to the third exercise already, but here is the first difference. In the book, they prescribe the same movement. So on the bench day, the third variation is a bench also, but I like to do them alternating. So on the bench day, I like to do overhead press, and on the overhead press, I like to do bench. And for the lower days, similarly. On the squat days, I like to do deadlift, and on the deadlift day, I like to do squat. This only changes so that you aren't too fried on one movement on the same day, and you basically hit a movement twice a week. I prefer it this way, but you can also keep the original if you want. If you want to do 3 benches in a day, then 2 overhead presses in another day, that's fine. But I prefer 2 bench and overhead press, and then 2 overhead press and a bench. Okay, so the secondary third variation follows the exact same scheme as here. For the variations, these are the ones I chose. So for the bench, oops, this is actually a mistake. I wanted here to choose a close grip bench. Ha, nice, spotting the mistake while making the video. Okay, and then after this is done, you're pretty much already cooked, but you still have to do the entire bodybuilding part. So whatever is prescribed here, we have back, biceps, triceps for the upper body day. And here are the exercises I chose. For the back, I will do any of the pull-ups, chin-ups, pull-downs, or any rows, seal rows, barbell rows, dumbbell rows. For the curls, I will do barbell, spider, or preacher curl. For the triceps, I will do French, crusher, or cable extension, or cable overhead press. The second type of day is pretty much the same, but we are starting with overhead press variation, and then moving to bench press. Bench press variation, yeah, close grip in this case. For the overhead press variation, I chose behind the neck overhead press. And then completely similar for the 2 lower days, we start with squat or deadlift, then moving to the squat variation on this table, then to alternating variation. So deadlift or squat, same from this table, and then moving to bodybuilding work. Here is a little bit of change as well. In the book, you will find that quads are programmed 2 times a week. So you will have 2 times quads and 1 times hams. But I have, because I have very small arms, I changed 1 quads for 1 biceps. So I have 2 biceps, 1 quads, 1 hams. And here are shoulders. So you stick in a little bit of lateral raises work on the lower body day, followed by quads. For the quads, I will choose Bulgarians or leg extensions. And for the hams, I will choose good mornings or leg curls. And for the abs, I will choose hanging leg raises or sit-ups. And well, this is actually it. I have nothing else to say. This is how it will work. For the following 9 weeks, I will do this, and then maybe for the 9 weeks after that, I will just change to the peak phase of powerlifter, 70s powerlifter. So that's it. That's how my programming will look like. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, see you in the next video. Goodbye.